Hello everyone and welcome to the weekly live stream. This week almost didn't happen, but we're doing it anyway. Today we're going to be trying to wrap up the AI stuff, which I actually had intended to wrap up before this video, but was waylaid a couple times this week, which maybe we don't need to go into too much detail about, but suffice to say I spent the afternoon in the ER taking a family member, and that took up some of my time to get ready for the stream tonight. So we're continuing where we left off last week, more or less. We thank the patrons before we get started. Really, you guys rock. The U.S. healthcare situation is not the best, and every little bit helps, so thanks a lot. And let's get started. Right up in the upper left, super secret link, as usual. That's where you can download the engine. That page also has a link to the Discord, which you can join. I also want to mention to the patrons, if you didn't already know this, as a patron you also get early access to some of the source code for the open source pieces, which is the foundation for Mythruna. All that stuff's just available early access because I can't spend the time to support it fully for a public release yet, but that'll happen eventually. But it is open source license and you're free to use it in your own games and so on. Okay, looks like the stream is going. And so let's go ahead and get started. Where I left off, let's see. I refactored a whole bunch of things. So if we go and look in the brain, that's where we used to have like everybody's see, I still have some of it in there commented out. But all that's been refactored over to this other class, which you might think, well, that's not a whole lot different than before, but it is because these all had to flesh out the interfaces to make sure that they weren't using, inside secret stuff that they had access to when they were over here. And so each of these is more formalized, and these could actually be split out into scripts or separate Java code. Sometime, not for this release, but for maybe next release, I'll be working on the scripting interface so that you can register for signals and goals and things. I did actually design what the next phase will be. Currently, for a given brain, which is target here, you can add these signal generators at certain intervals. They'll check for things, and you can then send a signal, and then you can add signal handlers, which says, when I'm hungry, I need to do this thing. And behaviors can override the current signal handling, so they can decide, if I'm fleeing from a bear, I probably shouldn't stop to eat, that kind of thing. So this is all sort of the base instincts of a character, which works fine for things like the Gayfin, and to some extent the dog, but really won't stand for the NPCs. So I've designed the next level, which is the goals and the goal solvers and things like that, which work nicely on top of the signal framework, so that'll be in the future. Pretty much the only other thing I added, that took me all weekend and I got to delete a bunch of code, which was lots of fun. The only other thing I added was I started building in a different perception. Like before, we had the perception views, which lets the mobs know what they can see in the world. And I'll plop into the world and we'll talk about it. Okay, and we go in. So in addition to what they can see, the mobs have sort of a bubble around them for things they can perceive, because just in general, even when we're not like directly looking at something, we kind of know the stuff that's in our immediate surroundings. And so there'll be some amount of, at some point, stealth checks and so on that would control some of that. But for now, if we turn this on, you can see that all these guys, the red, is their frustum, that's what they can see. But the green, the dog come running up to me. The green around them is sort of their perception bubble, and that's when something enters their personal space, they know it. And so like if I run over to this Gayfin, I started implementing some of the signals for this for a flee behavior. So if I run over to him, he's going to sense that I like was a fast-moving object that entered his personal space, and so that freaks him out. And that's going to cause him to flee in another direction. And so between that and the dog, yeah, see, the dog will be able to chase the... When they start fleeing, the dog will be able to chase the Gafen. And one of the other things we'll work on is making the dog have a little bit of a memory so that he doesn't like instantly run to every different thing he sees, but he can keep like a short-term memory of the things he's seen recently. Yeah, so now that all those other guys have disappeared. This also solves another problem for me in that the butterfly, I didn't want to have like an actual view frustum. And so instead, it's got this really tiny like little perception view. So as if you were to approach the butterfly, it could detect you and decide if it wants to fly away. And if you get close, really close to it, it could decide to fly away. But it doesn't actually have it kind of has a sixth sense of all the stuff around it. It doesn't have a specific, line of sight like a person or a dog or a bear or, giant flying whales or whatever. So, and if there's time, so that's what we'll do. We're going to make the Gafen flee when we approach them. And if there's time, I would like to start building in the dog memory and specifically the NPC memory, which will actually be persistent in that I want them to remember the last time they saw you. There's already a relationship we build with them. So if they know us already, I want them to build in like into our relationship the last time they saw us. So that if they see us again, like after a day or something, they'll say hi or something, so that they'll know. Anyway, makes them seem a little more intelligent, right? If when they see you, they go, "Hey, Fade, how are you?" All right. So that's what we're going to work on. Let me know if you have any questions while we're doing it, or if you like to add anything. Otherwise, let's get going. And so this is going to be a simple flee behavior. I think what I want to have happen, so let's say we've got our little, let's select the pen. So let's say we've got our little, Gafen guy. I can't, right? He's got his little feet. Right. So he's got his bubble around him. That's his perception bubble. And so if something enters that perception bubble, I want him to check the sort of randomly in some direction opposite of that to see, what the nearest place is that he could run that's not like blocked, so he's not stupid. So if there's a fence here, it'll run this way instead of running right into the fence. So that logic should be pretty simple. We already know that there's this object. We know it's heading in some direction. We know where it is. And so between that, we can figure out what that direct distance is, and then start, sampling rays around that to see if it contacts stuff, relatively short rays. We don't plan to flee for very long. So this is kind of a dumb, it's not going to take into account like that he's about to walk into a pit or anything like that. So this will probably get replaced with something smarter later with some pathfinding, but for creatures that are essentially as stupid as a chicken, then this is probably a safe behavior. So we'll call it something like basic flee or something like that. Alrighty. So what do we want to do? We've got a follow behavior, which I left a bunch of garbage in, but I'm going to use that to steal heavily from. We want to have a primitive, let's call it primitive flee behavior. Yeah, so for primitive creatures, I'll spell it the American way. Okay. I've been leaving the license in some of these because, not all of them, because eventually this AI stuff gets open sourced too. The base stuff, it goes into the SimSilica AI package. So, but for now, this one is particularly game specific, so we'll cut the license out. Extends abstract behavior, and we will need I think we'll only flee mobs. We will only flee for a certain amount of time, and yeah, so we're basically going to need all of this. So let me steal. Yeah, so they have an arrive steering. Yep. And while I've decided that arrive is not the right thing for this particular behavior. Oh yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. So we'll steal these directly. And so again, cut and paste, copy pasta. Okay. And I'm going to steal part of this constructor. Just saves time. Okay. Primitive flee behavior. Yeah. Okay. Now, this is going to be something that when we start it, I think abstract behavior already does generate. Yeah, so we don't need to. Follow overrides this so that we don't constantly run to different things as we see them enter view. But we do need this. And I thought, oh, we want on start, yep. On start, and we do want update, and we do want, we'll keep on stop just for fun. Okay, so on start is where we want to calculate where we want to go. Normally I would do this in a script eventually. So, find flee direction. So at the time we start, we want to, so this is the mob location, this is our location. We want the vector that points in this direction, so we're going to subtract from this from this, right? So we're going to subtract the brain agent location. And this is actually flee. Flee. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to delete that anyway. So get location dot, dir equals get location subtract flee dot get location. And then to get that in a unit vector, we'll normalize it. So then dir is a normalized vector that we can decide I want to run 3 meters in some direction, that kind of thing. And so one of the other things we're going to need is the physics system. I think physics space. Let's just call it physics. Because we need to make world queries. This is not the greatest way to do this. Really what it should be, and why not wire it in properly, eh? Really what it should be is we ask the brain to fire off things on our behalf, and then the brain can ask the agent to do it. It limits the amount of badness that can happen. First of all, it doesn't hardwire the physics engine in here. If I ask the brain to do an array query, the brain could be smart enough to know, am I in an environment where I can actually see that kind of thing? If the gape is trying to run away in the dark, maybe it can't avoid obstacles. It's just going to run into whatever's there, that kind of thing. Whereas this code would have to be too smart about that. The brain could eventually be smarter about that. So it's better abstraction to ask the brain, and the brain can ask the agent, because the agent itself is the embodiment of the rigid body, if you want to think of it that way, and has a whole bunch of stuff associated with it about how it perceives the world, because it is the physical thing that's in the world. It also has access to the physics space, which I don't think the brain does. Yeah, it doesn't. So that works well, which means we need one of these here kind of queries, like these query body queries. So we will add a simple one at first, just array check and ray. I think, is it ray D? Let's see what the physics system gives us, or physics space. I don't want to get into writing new physics queries if I can avoid it, and I've already implemented a bunch of them. Query hits, that's what we want. So actually we will just steal a lot of this. So we'll steal the name too. Query hits, only instead of array, excuse me, we're going to pass a direction, a limit, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, and that's got to return hit results. Hit results. So how's everyone else's week been going? I can honestly say I have had better weeks, better months. In fact, like lately, Mythruna development is like my recoup time, in a sense. I mentally, in some cases physically, regroup. So I've been sneaking away to get 20 minutes in a night or so, 30 minutes, just to work on something to like recenter myself. So I appreciate you guys joining me tonight for part of the journey. All right, so we need, so it is array D. Array equals new array D. We want to use our body's location. Technically, we want an offset too. So this is an offset from our body, which means we want to do a get. Now let's grab the body so we don't have to constantly be re-asking for it. And so body local to world position, does it take an argument to store the value all the way around the world. Rigid body, we want abstract body. So this is the physics engine that's MPhys is the physics engine that's part of the open source stuff. It's not a great physics engine as far as compared to professional ones, but the one thing it has, and eventually it'll maybe tie into some pro level physics engines, the one thing it has is it splits the world up into zones automatically. It's one claim to fame that makes it super useful for Mythruna, which has an infinite world, and you don't want to simulate the physics for the whole world all the time. Okay, so we want pass a null, so it'll create that for us. Okay, so this should be position, I think, ray is does it build in a limit? No, it's just origin and direction. So the limit comes in the query itself. That's funny. We may need to make a modification to the physics engine, because that's the only thing array takes. And yeah, so let me see what that code is doing. And query hits. Yeah, that's interesting. None of it takes a limit. So okay, so that is an oversight that I will have to fix another day, because that requires lots of changes to all these to take a limit. Oh, wait. Ray must, no, it doesn't have a length. I was gonna say, maybe, like JMonkey Engine puts their limit separately, but no, this is an actual mathematical array, so it's just an origin and a direction. Okay, anyway, we will simulate that behavior because it's useful to do so, and we will do that by getting the results, the full results. Entity block shape cannot type results, or let's call it hits. Let's hit results plural. Hit results equals this. This is going to be a bit expensive. That's okay. I think we can limit. I'm thinking of when casting all those rays out. We probably don't want to call this too many times. Oops. Ray. Null. I think if we give it null, it creates one for us. There's a lot of this code follows the JMonkey Engine pattern of, no, it requires you to pass it in. Okay, so we do have to set our own hit results of that. It tries to avoid garbage when possible, and so we'll take in case you want to keep reusing the same hit results object, you can just keep passing it in and then clear it when you're done. In this case, it doesn't actually make much. Oh, in this case, it's because we're going to be passing it to multiple methods. And so hit results is an iterable of hit. And hit is what we care about. It has the distance. Okay, so I'm going to steal this for a second so that I can find and what we want to do here is we want... what else does hit results provide? Maybe we don't want that at all. Oh, that's where we can set the max distance. Aha. And so let me double check that the queries are really working that way. See, if I'd read my own Java doc. So let's look at the collision system, which is elsewhere. Okay. Where is the... hit results. Query world hits not implemented. Oh. That's going to be unhelpful. Well, I don't know what it would put in the hit results anyway. All right. 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 We're doing this all wrong. But let me real quickly, we're going to do this too, but I'm going to see if it's paying attention to the ooh. The limit. Yep. Okay, it is. Okay. So I was right that I could have done the limit on the hit results, but we are not going to do that yet because that's why you encapsulate something like this in a method. We are going to yeah, see, this doesn't even make sense to return for a world hit. Really, I'm more interested in the world hits. And so what I need to do is call the world. Which we don't have access to here. Player driver does, I believe. No. Happy Friday, Ron. How are you? Oh, it does have the world. Ah. What is worldview? Okay, so worldview is something. Why do we... Alright, there is a way to do what I want. I earned my weekend this week. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Okay, so what we're going to do is, this is a lot deeper than I want to go right now. So I'm going to put a pin in it because we could spend the whole time just querying, wiring up the world queries. So let's just have the flee just run in the opposite direction, which means it won't work well if the Geffen is trapped. Find the flee direction. Okay, so where we'd want to perform world physics queries to see if that direction is free, else pick a different direction. TBD, right? Okay, so we've got a direction. We want to run maybe 3 meters away or something. So then we want vec3d target of the flee to be the brain agent location. No, the mob location. Flee. No, our location. So we want to flee like 3 meters in the opposite direction. Yeah, they're dull, but like it is a little dumb if they're running right into the fence that's behind them, though that is what my previous things did. And anyway, it would have been nice if the queries were implemented correctly. Yeah, exactly. That's why they'll run right off of cliffs, of course. But and in fact, their steering behavior will make them avoid the collision with like the fence anyway. They're going to turn to the left or the right. But I thought what would be weird is if they end up turning into the direction of the thing that they're fleeing. That's the part that I would try to avoid. But anyway, that's a TBD. I wish that the queries were already there. They really should be, and I will add them this week. But in the meantime, yeah, we'll just stupidly flee in the opposite direction for 3 meters. So we will make an arrive that will target that. I believe arrive says arrive there within 1 meter, but we're going to make that short. We want it to go as close to there as possible. So really, there's this... The other thing is we don't... Well, okay, yes, this is panic behavior. I'm going to make it a 0.5 meter then. So if they get close and they're just running into the fence, they'll at least stop. We've already got like a limit that they'll only do it for a couple seconds anyway, because they're stupid dumb animals. That if you pet them, they follow you around though, so they're cute, right? Okay, so everything else, we don't want to keep setting the target. Or we don't want to keep fleeing. This is the primitive flee behavior. So it's just going to pick a direction and run. And so I believe that is all we needed. We just need to hook it up to the Gayfin configuration, which is this one. So down here where I have the on something enters its space, we grab the body that did the entering, and we get the speed. If the speed squared is more than 4, so if it's moving at more than 2 meters per second, we squawk, and we want to flee. And so to flee, we add a new reaction. We new flee behavior. Oh, primitive flee behavior. I copied the thing. I didn't have to do that. Okay, so we want to make the mob. So that's sort of an abstraction of an object that an object with position, because it's going to get its actual position from the entity system and not from the body. But eventually I'll have one that wraps a body. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's just a nice abstraction. So mob default action is idle, meaning that if it stops, it's just going to go into its idle animation. And we want it to do it maybe 1001, 1002, 1003. Yeah, so 3. And we want the, does the arrive behavior let me set a speed? It does not. And so what scale is it doing? Okay, so we may find that this flee is kind of slow. I think it's doing, oh, that's, yeah, I think it's, oh no, it's doing it fast because the dog goes fast and it's using the same arrive behaviors, arrive steering. So that should be good. Oops, wrong one. So, and we want to make sure that it has a, since I use the debug stuff right now, fleeing body.id, right? So we'll have like a nice little debug. All right, let's see if he runs away to fight another day. Ooh. Oh, noes. Lots of syntax errors. But I didn't change any of this. Oh, that's unchecked exception. These are the real errors. Primitive flee behavior, line 62. Yeah, okay. Primitive flee behavior. What is that, line 62? Oh, yeah. Okay, so if we need to have an early out, basically. If flee equals null, if the timeout flee equals null, which would cause us to die next time, that kind of thing. Or it lets us cancel the flee if we wanted to, which we're not going to, but we inherited that from the follow behavior, which is why we have those things. And it's not a bad idea to have a way for your behaviors to die early from external setting. It's a way for... The only other way to kill a behavior normally is to replace it. And sometimes you just want it to default back to whatever idle behaviors are available. Okay, come on. Faster, slider, faster. Gotta speed that up sometime. Or give us a bunch of these kind of screens to read while that's happening. So we hardly get any time on the world load. It goes fast. Alrighty. Let's bump time ahead a little bit because we're at least in the daytime now. Okay, so we've got the wandering NPCs over here. Let's create a little isolated area for us over here. So we'll place the Gafen down. Okay, he's all good. I added the projectile here so that I can just throw the projectile. Sprink. Hey, look at him run away from the projectile. And so if I come up to him too fast, which of course my default running speed is automatically too fast. Ah, he runs away. Okay. Now let's get the doggy involved. Let's see, middle mouse to dog. He runs to me. Let's go ahead and reset your home so you'll wander. Now he's going to see the Gafen. He's going to run. Oh no. He ran to the ball. Why'd you run? Oh, that's right. You're supposed to run to the inanimate objects, you silly dog. Okay, so now run to the Gafen before he disappears. Come on, doggy. Oh, you're lonely now, so you come running over to me. See, you come running over to me, I don't get scared and run away. Oh, that'll be interesting when I need to put a filter in so that Gafen don't run away from themselves. There he goes. He's running up. Oh, he slowed down before he got there. Aw, he's following it around. Okay, let's make another dog. This one will see the Gafen immediately. Yep, there it goes. Hey, he's chasing it. And so, I think the Gafen will chain reaction. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, that other Gafen disappeared. Oh, that doggy chased that one away. Okay, let's let that one wander around, too. Oh, there they go, chasing him around. Okay. Oh, the doggies met each other. Nose to nose. Hey, doggy, how are you? Oh, yep. So I think sometimes the dogs, they slow down. But if I get a Gafen to run to another Gafen, I think it'll cause them to run too. Yeah, so that one. He got lonely. And he ran away from the dog. I don't know what he was running away from there. So there's some debugging to do, right? So if I come run over to these guys, they'll run away. I need to have them run farther. Yeah, so he's running away from the dog. They should probably also collect. Anyway, they're being stupid. They're supposed to be stupid. I don't want to put too much intelligence in, but they should probably keep track of all the things they're running from for the 3 seconds or whatever that they're running. Yeah, see, the dog slows down as he's getting to them. That's why sometimes, and they only update their perception. How often are they updating the perception? They should be updating it more often. So if we go and look at the interval, the brain sets those up. The perceptions things. So this is checking personal space. Oh, but it's set up in the perception set itself. So let's go check the agent driver. Because the idea being that certain kinds of mobs will be a little more on cue, like on cue. They'll recognize things faster. And so the perception set has a built-in sort of interval. I don't know what the default is. Oh, I think that's one of the things I set differently. Nope. Thought per mob type, but I guess it's not. So let's look up perception set. Where did you go? There it is. The default is, so 5 times a second. That's probably okay. Yeah, though I think that I will have them filter themselves out, because they already have a flocking behavior in that if they're lonely for too long, they go running up to each other, and that would just cause all sorts of chaos in the chicken coop or the Gafen coop, right? But I do think I'm going to have them run longer and farther. So first of all, we want to parameterize that. But it's a good idea. I mean, I do like a little chaos. Okay, so this is Gafen, which I think are the last ones. Yeah, see, if they get lonely too long, they find some mob nearby, and they're not picky about it because they'll run up to a player or a dog or whatever. They just get lonely. They don't want to be by themselves, and so they'll find something to walk to. And the whole point of that was to try to keep them from wandering. They don't have a home like the NPCs do, so it was try to keep them wandering from wandering too far away, because they'll tend to clump together. Okay, so if we see a rigid body, we want to do some other things here. But the first one is I want to say I'm going to actually treat the max time and the distance the same. So whatever meters per second you're running, if you say go for 4 seconds, that implies you want to go some amount of time. And currently we're setting it basically 1 meter per second. So if you run for 4 seconds, you're going to run for 4 meters. And so I will set this to timeout. Well, what we'll do is flee distance, and so I can maybe set it differently someday, and we'll just make sure to set it to the same thing. That lets me have a parameter later, but right now, so for 4 seconds it'll run 4 meters, and let us avoid. Let's think about this. I need to be able to filter it out of the perception. I don't know. We will ask. So how is the quickest way for me to get the type of object? So let's say we can ask the brain, is same type that ID, right? So if it's the same type as us, return null. We're going to ignore other Geffen. Though there is a benefit, like you said, if one of them's fleeing, then they all should flee. But maybe that's a different kind of flee. So we'll do this, which will limit the chaos somewhat. And I'm thinking of maybe even lowering the threshold by which they decide something's moving too fast. But anyway, okay, I'm getting wrapped around the axle here. I need to implement this method. Okay. Public boolean is same type. Entity ID, ID. Okay, so what we want to do is ask for the object type info. In fact, let's go ahead and cache our own. We'll assume for the moment that there'll be different object types. I wonder if the agent already knows that. Agent type is different than object type. Yeah, so this works well because the object type is what the model and all that other stuff. That's what we want. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about whether that's already set up. I'm just going to do it. So if we have, yeah, so this dot object type ed get component. I want to get the component from the entity data, get ndid object type info dot class. I'm going to steal this because down here, object type, oops. I found, so my eyesight is not so great. I really need glasses and I've been avoiding glasses. Not for any kind of vanity reasons, just because. But I used to, when I started coding Mythruna again, like after a day of work, I felt like I couldn't even see the text. I'd have to move my face really close to the screen. Let me look up object type info to see what its ID is. And it was really frustrating because one of my eyes is slightly worse than the other one, and so it would take me a little while before I could see out of my left eye. I could read the code with my left eye, which made it see double. And anyway, so I finally figured out what the issue was, and that's I like have a 11 point font here or something with a certain spacing. And in my day job, IntelliJ just had a default font which was set to like 12 with a 1.2 spacing, and their 12-point font looks way bigger than this font anyway. And so I took a screenshot of my editor and brought it over to my work computer and made sure that the settings were the same. Nice. But now that I got my work set up the same as this setup, I find I can go back and forth instantly. And the nice thing is on my work setup, I can fit much more code on the screen too, because it's that percent bigger or smaller rather. Get type ID equals and if other type equals null, and return false, because they can't be the same type if the other type is null. That just means it's an object without a type. All right, so over here, if they're the same type, we'll return null, but we'll maybe say coo or something, right? So we know he saw a buddy, and he's ignoring his buddy. Okay. So wow, we got 7 on. Welcome to the live stream if you are new to the live stream. Here we are trying to make our Gafen flee semi-intelligently. And doing a semi-good job. Cooking some mussels sounds delicious. Yeah, so I've had this thing going on since the beginning of March. Like it felt like I was getting a cold in the top of my mouth, like the back of my throat top was hurting, like when allergies are flaring up or when I start to get a cold or whatever. And that got really bad, and it was all red and inflamed, and I had to stop eating acidic foods and stuff for a few days. But during that also, whenever I would sneeze, it would aggravate that area so badly that I changed the way I sneeze. And then one day I sneezed and I bit the back of my tongue really hard, and and while we're like chaining on mouth problems, that's the side of my mouth that has a fake tooth, an implant, because I had a cracked crown. I had to get that tooth replaced a long time ago. And one time it got loose and they had to like re-screw it in. Like, I don't know if you know, but the implants have like a screw in the crown that they screw in. So they had to like tighten the screws down. And to this day, I feel like it's been crooked and it leans into my mouth a little bit and it always catches my tongue when I brush my teeth and stuff. And so right now that really bad bite that's on the bottom back of my tongue is rubbing up against that corner of my tooth. And it makes it hard to eat, hard to swallow, hard to spit out toothpaste. Even talking is a little painful. So, but do I work for? No, but I use IntelliJ when I'm at work, because that's a code base I'm unfamiliar with for the most part. Like Mythruna, I have most of it in my head, and so I can find the stuff I need. And so I prefer the faster editor that doesn't have all the fancy gizmos. But at work I use IntelliJ because they're big on code compliance and stuff for different things, and so it will check all that. SonarQube plugin will check all the static code analysis and do all that garbage, which means my commits go through reviews faster. All right, so we wanted to check so we plop some Gafen down. Yeah, so they see each other and they go coo, coo, coo. Okay. And so like if I run this Gafen over into the others, he'll run over there and they'll say, oh, cool, hey, buddy. Nice. So that part works. All right, so let's bring the dog into the mix. Oh, so look, if butterflies don't cause them to get all like upset because butterflies move too slow. Although it is weird that these guys are cooing. Oh, because that's kind of neat actually. So I'll show you why. Yeah, I bet that's true. I'm just like, I like that when I hit the key, it goes right in, and I really get annoyed with IntelliJ. I know it's a silly thing, but I've been typing a long time on computers that were way simpler than this, and where they were so slow that you could type faster than the computer would get it out. And so after a while, computers kept getting faster and faster and faster, and you get like a feel for it. And as a former, synth player and stuff, you get like different keyboards feel different, different synthesizers, different pianos, they feel different. The timing is different and you adjust after a while. And I have adjusted to when I hit the key, it goes in, there's no delay, 0 delay. You cannot measure the delay. And to, IntelliJ, which is doing all kinds of fancy stuff for me, but and on day job, I need all that stuff, but sometimes it does get in the way, and I do feel like if I could type just a little faster, I'd get ahead of it. Anyway, so this is why they just keep cooing at each other, because are they the same type check as before we check the speed? And so as they feel each other come in and out of range, okay, so they all disappeared. So as they feel each other come in and out of range, they coo at each other, which I think is actually kind of cool, and I may leave that feature in, right? When I have sound effects, that means if, the Gayfins spread out and they enter each other's personal space, which which is, reasonably tight, then they'll coo at each other, and so they'll have these little sound effects. And I may need to make that or like a random trigger, but for now it's kind of cool. Okay, so let's bring the dog into the mix and let him go crazy, because he should be able to chase him a little farther now. Okay, he's going to come to me first because I'm right in his line of sight. And I'm going to tell you that this is your home. Now you can wander around. Ah! Run away. Uh-oh. Oh no! Yeah, so they'll run away from me. Why won't they run away from you, you silly dog? Let me find the projectile. Yeah. Yeah, so this is not the gun, so I have to... Yeah, so it'll run away from the projectile. Yeah, so this one I have to fire at the ground. Yeah, so they'll run away from the projectile. Why aren't they running away from the doggy? Did he disappear? Oh, there he is. You can't decide who you want to run to. That's funny. So why are you cooing at the dog? That makes no sense. But you don't coo at me. Yes, I like it when the sun goes down next to this town. Huh. Let's add some debugging. Make sure I didn't do something dumb here. How to get type ID? Do I have an entity data here? Yeah. So we can say log debug or log info is same type, and we will do like other type to string ed us object type to string ed. Okay, so I'm just really concerned that the dog was not tripping them up. Is same type. Yes, if those two IDs are the same, they should be the same type. Because those are definitely different objects. All right. And I don't want you to think this editor is completely without features. It does have, you can hook in, like for one thing, you can record some really complex macros, which I have done, and you can build like little function templates and things in. The nice thing is they don't try to execute unless you execute them. and it does keep track of sections and stuff, but I just never used that stuff. The other thing, and maybe any of you who use IntelliJ will know how to deal with this, but one thing, I leave a lot of tabs open, and one thing I've noticed, hold on, let me get in here, and I'm going to run time back a little bit, and then I'm going to pause it. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So if you guys are IntelliJ users, maybe you already know the answer to my problem, but like here in my editor, I have these tabs open to all the different sources I have open, and I can quickly step through them with these little arrows. IntelliJ, they don't have these little arrows over here, but you can middle mouse over the, you can middle mouse wheel over the tabs and it scrolls left or right, but it does it like a pixel at a time. It's really annoying. Like you have to really crank that mouse wheel over to move even just a little bit. It's really strange. I don't know if there's a setting or something to control that, but it's the most ridiculous scroll I've ever seen. And I love IntelliJ. It's a great tool, but that just is bizarre. Okay. All right, let's get our test set up again. Okay, so let's make a Gaphen, and then we will put the dog right there. Yeah, so why? He barked. He said coo. Object type, animal. Oh, they're both animals. Object type is not what I want here, because there are different... I actually do want agent type in this case. So, oh yeah, gotta. So let me talk about why that is. So, in there's different types of objects. So agent type is the type of AI. In our case, Gaphen, dog, etc. But you might have different animals, different animal types, like models that have the same behavior, like I'm trying to think of an example, but any of the birds might have the same agent type, but they might have a different model, right? A shape info. They might have a different shape. The model you see, right? So different types of dogs would have different shape infos, but they'd have the same agent type. They're all going to be dogs, unless they have some specific behavior. And then there's the object type info, which is, the what actions does it have? So that's meaning I can pet it, I can talk to it and it'll face me, that kind of thing. Well, it'll try. Anyway, but so that's why all of these, I think actually the butterfly might also be an animal. So it's very common for a whole bunch of things to have the same object type info because they'd have the same scripted actions that you can perform on them. So object type info was not what I wanted. Long story short, agent type is what I wanted, and the brain probably already knew what its agent type was. Nope. But when we script it, we're going to want to know that too. So, and agent type is something we were forced to look up at some point. Agent might even know its agent type. Ooh. Oh, it's not agent type. It's AI. Oh, I think it is agent type. Yeah, high, low, passive, type ID. Yeah. So this is what it says. It's a Gaphen. And so somewhere in here, we are definitely going to be getting the agent type. Yeah, see, we already had that wired in. Yeah, change agent type, this dot type. Okay, we already had it wired in. And so do I have a get agent type? Nope, but I can add one. Nope, just type. We are an agent. We have a type. By definition is the agent type. Okay, now the brain will also have that information. We probably set it when we set the, set agent type. We set it by string though. Yeah, that was not smart of us. Thing is, like, yeah, technically these things may not be set when we come in here. But anyway. Because we create the brain right away. Anyway. Is same type. We need to do agent type instead. And I'm going to guess it's type ID also. Agent type, other type, blah, 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 blah. That should all be the same. If it lets us compile it all, it should fix our problem. Yep. End of the Pepsi. One time this song had words. Don't remember what the lyrics are. I want to say it was a wistful song about somebody going far away, but the subtext was that they were getting lost in the video game, basically. Which I thought was appropriately ironic. Alright, so the doggy should turn around and see me. Okay, now you know me. Now turn around and see them. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yay! Okay. Now, other Gathens should not trigger it. Because the doggy never got up enough speed to really cause that Gathen problems. One of these Gathen, I think, is going to disappear in a minute. Okay, doggy, look over there. Look over there. Look over there. Don't look over there. No, you already saw me. I need to give you short-term memory. Yeah, that Gathen disappeared. Yeah, so let's give it another one. Did the doggy disappear too? Yeah, so he had been around too long. They time out after. I have them timed out after a minute, which kind of saves me because sometimes they end up like in the bottom of the world and stuff, and it's nice that they time out. When I'm testing stuff. Cool. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool, man. It's cool. Okay, you run over there. Squawk, squawk. Oh, one of them got afraid. The other one didn't. Idiot. Makes me wonder if his perception set's getting cleared out correctly. I may have to do some debugging on that. Hello, doggy. I think I'm gonna give you short-term memory now. Alright, so we've got the Gathen fleeing like I wanted them to. If I come up here, they go fleeing. That's pretty cool. And so if we put a bunch of these guys down, then I go running in, whee, they go squawking in the opposite direction, which would be cooler to see from this angle, I think. So she goes jogging into them. Ah, they go running away. Ah. It's like, yeah, because she's running all the time, right? If I used the joystick, I could make her walk, but she's basically jogging all the time. And then there is no run animation yet, which is why the fast jog looks super stupid. But anyway, her slow jog looks all right, I think. So yeah, so the Gayfen are working like they're supposed to. That's all good. Yeah, so maybe let's make the dog a little less chaotic. I just don't know how far I want to go with that. Like, should it be a timeout issue? Yeah, let's make it a timeout issue where what do I want to do with that? We want to be careful. So what I want, is I want the dog, remember, for a time that he saw something. Ignore it if he saw it recently. And then so the key is important. Don't remember everything. Flush it out periodically. So we want to have the data structure wherever we're adding the things he's seen. And if it's a new thing, we do the new thing behavior. We go running up. And that's the other thing. We want to only... So... and only remember who we actually ran up to. Like, if we succeeded in reaching that target, because right now what happens is the dog is fairly chaotic. Like, I'm willing to keep going if you guys are willing to stick around a little longer. I kind of missed developing Mythruna this week, and so I'm going to be on for a bit. So what the issue is with the dog is that if there were two things to run to, he tries to run to both, and whoever is the last one wins. And what I really want it to be is that he will only replace somebody he's running to with somebody who is closer. So we need to be able to check if we have an existing flee behavior that or follow behavior that we're doing, and only reset the follow behavior if it's a better thing, like it's closer, it's more interesting, we don't have to run all the way across the field to do it, we might as well stop and do that. And then the other thing, and maybe I'll do this another time, but so let's do that because I think that's doable within the time we have. Because we want to make sure to leave that signal. That's the other thing, is how do I ignore a signal without swallowing it? So that's one deficiency of our current architecture here, is that a signal gets triggered and we process it. We process all of the current signals until we hit a behavior where we do something. And there are only two options right now. You can return, basically you can have a null behavior, which means that we'll just drop whatever we're doing. We swallow. So a null behavior means we swallow the signal, but we don't do anything about it, and we go on and check the next signal. But what I want is the ability to say, no, don't even remove that signal. Leave it in the queue, because I'm already doing something more important, but I don't want to forget that. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to decide if that's a signal problem or a goal problem. So the next step in the AI evolution, next step in AI, not this release, is goals. So signals are instant and transient and die with the handler. Signal comes in, it gets handled. Nice and clean. No priorities other than handler order. So the first handler that gets it can do something with it or pass it on to the next handler. And so there's no priority of the signals, there's priority of the handling. Goals are persistent. They have priorities. And currently I'm using some signals as goals, like like hunger, right? I send a hungry signal to the Gafen and he pecks at the ground. But really that would be a goal, that he's hungry. And that gets prioritized with all of his other goals. And then, so periodically reassess if goals are satisfied or too old. Wife wants me to go watch Poor Things. Good job with showing us the answer. Thanks, Ron. Yeah, thanks for joining, Ron. I will see you next time, or see you online. You can, if any of you guys are on the Discord, you see regular progress updates because I post screenshots and stuff and talk about what I'm doing. If you're not on the Discord, that makes me sad. It would be nice to chat with you on Discord. All right, so goals are persistent. They have priorities. They periodically reassess if goals are satisfied or too old. And also, different behaviors may meet those different things. So, for example, if my goal is go to location X, I do pathfinding and find locked door, okay? Then I have to add goal to open locked door. So goal, open locked door, but I need a key. So then there's add goal to find key. So, and so on, right? But each of these goals is reassessed to see if I've already solved it. And so if I reach this goal without doing all these other things, it would wipe out all of these other goals. I don't need those anymore. But in the meantime, these goals sit where they are. And as I come off of different behaviors that I'm doing, I can, as behaviors complete, recheck goals and match with behaviors that get closer to that goal. So, for example, I've just finished doing something and I see that there's a key. The key is right next to me. I can set the behavior up to go pick up that key. And now that satisfies this goal. Goal, get the key. Now that satisfies this goal, which means this goal is now when assigning behaviors to this, I can see, I can actually do this goal now. I don't need the key anymore, so I can do go to the door and unlock it, right? And then I can open the door and I can go to location X. So as the goals get worked off, your current goal set dies. And I think that my gut feel is that the number of goals that can be active at once is a neat indicator of level of intelligence. So maybe a dog can only hold 3 goals at once, 2 goals maybe, whereas an NPC could hold maybe 10 goals. And so they can keep track of a much deeper backlog of things that they want to do. As more higher priority stuff goes, the goals get knocked off. And the reason I bring this up is to say that what I want to do here, which is what I was talking about with signals that I can leave on the stack, that's when I'm talking about goals. And so I don't want to blend those too much. So the idea being that if I have a case where I get this signal that says, you know, Paul entered my view, and the dog wants to run up to him, but he's already in a behavior where he's running up to somebody else. If I had goals, those would automatically sort, and I wouldn't need to do anything special. Of course, the number of goals he can keep, and maybe I don't want to replace goals that are better. But the point is, I haven't actually started working them, and anyway, I don't think I want to add that feature to the signals, because I think I already decided that that's more of a feature for goals, because it's important that the signals get cleared out frequently. They all get handled or they get removed, because they're sort of like the events that come in. So without implementing goals, I can't do the prioritization in a smart way, but I can do it in a dumb way, which is the long version of what I was saying. Okay, so follow behavior. That's what we use to, I believe that's what we use to run up to. Let's check out the doggy. Configure dog. Okay, so if you entered his view, no, he has a custom behavior. He goes to your location, he doesn't go to you. And that's because that has a distance threshold. But I recently added the ability to do a behavior until some other criteria is met. And I think one of the things I wanted to do was replace this. So what this code is doing is it's saying body position. Oh, so it is keeping track of the body. Yeah, so this is doing, yes, this is exactly, it's doing a follow behavior, but as soon as you get within a certain distance, it stops. So if your distance is less than 1 meter, it stops. And that's why we customize this instead of follow, because follow does not do that. Follow will go forever until you time out. Or go for however long you say. So either we want a custom conditional here to decide when we're done, or we follow forever, we don't have a timeout, and then we wrap it in different things, like we wrap it in this, which will do it until a certain condition is met, or we'll do it until a certain time has met. I think that's what I want to do. What else are we using follow for? I like the idea of composing behaviors from simpler behaviors. So this will follow you for 20 seconds. So basically, what I'm talking about is everywhere I've implemented this, everywhere I've used this follow behavior, I would need to fix. So both of these pets and the flock 2. Oh, flock 2 already has a do while. So in this sense, I want to do a do while and a limit. And yeah, so those are the 3 cases. So let's make follow do following forever. So we are not going to set, we're going to get rid of timeout and all things related to timeout. This makes this a way simpler behavior. Basically, it is going to try to always reach the mob. Oh wait, follow is what I need, not max wait. Okay. Anything related to the time we get rid of. Yeah, so no more timeouts. Boink, 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 boink. That was a macro, by the way, that I set up. Okay, so we follow forever. Now everybody's broken. In fact, I'm going to make sure they're broken because I'm going to comment out this too. Yeah, I comment out a lot of code, and then when I'm done, I commit it, and then I go and I remove all the commented out code, usually after the live stream. But in the live stream, I don't want to have to muck with Git and diffs and things. So yeah, we will fix the follow behavior to be more reusable, and then we will make the dog only follow, and yeah, basically we're replacing that custom code in the dog behavior. So in here, instead of just this, I want to do a behaviors limit, and what is the, so it's limit, the delegate, the timeout. Okay. So this is the delegate. It doesn't have a, I should just, let me just leave that here for a second. Okay, so follow limit, comma 20. So that was doing for 20 seconds before. And then that is okay, so what I want to do is, yep, and then, whoops, wrong thing, okay. Okay, so that sets that up to only follow for 20 seconds. And I should have done this with the other one, but I didn't, so I'm going to do it for this one. And we can actually copy this. Where was it? So it looks just the same except for the idle is different, right? So we can copy that because they're both the pet behavior. Okay, and so this is a do while already. And so I probably originally wanted this to go forever anyway. Flock until it gets there, but we always want to kind of have a timeout. So we will behaviors.limit, if I can type. Okay, so behaviors.limit will do while, oh, and I should have comment anyway, whatever. Okay, so we will do the follow behavior while all this is true. And just to keep them straight. Okay, so comma 20, that was 20 seconds before. And then we one more parenthesis and the debug. So did I? Okay, I did all of the follow behaviors. So flocking when they're lonely and petting of the Gayfin or the dog should still work, and they should last for 20 seconds. So before I go any further, for the two of you that are still on the live stream, let me fix my bugs. Behaviors limit is not limited. Oops, wrong. Huh. That's right, it's over here. It's limited to 20 seconds. Not, I should have called it limit. Okay. Alright, so that's good. Will we let us go this time? Nope, I forgot one. Oh, limped. Cannot spell. Okay, so when we're limited. We will flock for 20 seconds, and flocking means we will do the follow behavior to try to get to that mob until we are in range of that mob, and whatever our perception of. No, we stop it if lonely goes to 0, which means we did get in range, or oh, that's right, we give up if whatever we were following is too far away. That's what that one is. It would try to follow you forever, even when you ran farther than it could possibly get to you, which isn't right. As soon as you get out of range of what it can perceive, it shouldn't follow you anymore to try to flock to you. So let's make sure all that stuff still works. And then we'll redo the follow behavior, or the run to behavior of the dog. So that doesn't have to be custom. And then I think that's where we'll stop. Yeah, well, Ron's not here anymore, but he'll have to tell me how he likes poor things. I've been interested in it. It looks very interesting. Looks very strange, but very interesting. Okay, so let's make sure the Gafen will still get lonely and follow. So there's 5. You can almost see that 5. Oh, the dog is going to make it not lonely anymore. I didn't realize there was still a dog here. Okay, let's let the Gafen get lonely. So loneliness 15, loneliness 20, loneliness 25. Is that where you guys get lonely? Yep. Okay, so he flocked to me. You should only do it for 26. Okay, cool. Maybe he got close enough. Yeah, that's what it was. He got close enough. Yeah, I just freaked him out. So let's try pet. Pet. Okay, follow me. 1001, 1002, 1003. Oh, you got scared of me. Ah. So while you're following me, you need to not be scared of me. Let's put that as a to-do. Let me put this as to-do. Yeah, frustrating thing. So to-do. Wow, Gafen. Whoops. Following. Don't be scared. Okay, so that's a thing we can put in the conditions. But let's try it again. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, he just frick. Ha ha ha. Alright, well, the dog has the same behavior, and the dog won't get scared of us anyway, so it'll be more interesting. So, doggy, I want to pet you, doggy. Pet. Pet. Okay, follow me. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. Aw, you. So, yeah, that's a problem. So he needs to prioritize me. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, you stopped too soon. 1, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1010, 1011, 1012, 1013, 1014, 1015, 1016, 1017, 1018, 1019, 1020. So you should stop. Yep, okay. So that still limits. What was the other thing? Nope, that's all working. It's just the other triggers that are not essentially while following. We need to ignore certain other things, but that's also a problem for another day. So, yeah. So while dog following, ignore perception events. I thought I already was, but the dog isn't using. For petting, yeah, it's using a follow behavior. Follow behavior should already be ignoring entered view. So I have to figure out why it didn't ignore and got distracted by those other guys. Huh. maybe this isn't getting called. Okay, so that'd be a bug. Okay, that's a problem for another time. Let's do the last little bit I said I was going to get done today, which was if the dog is running to us. It had a custom thing before. Yes, if it's entered the view, we don't want to do this anymore. We want to, so that was doing it forever. We don't want to do it forever, but we do want to turn new reaction, behaviors limited. Okay, so first of all, let's go ahead and get this set up. So then this is, yep, he'll try for 20 seconds. The other thing we want is behaviors do while, and what he's going to do is new follow behavior. The mob and the default action. So mob equals brain, get mob. The ID if mob equals null. Return null. Can't follow something that doesn't have a position. So we follow the mob, and our default behavior is idle 2 for the doggy. Yeah, he gets excited. He wants to come see you. And we do this while. Where's another example of that? Boink. Okay, so we got the brain. I'm just going to steal this code for a second. No, we don't want to get the property. What we do want to do, we want to keep doing this while we are farther away than 1 meter. Right? Because I think that was with the old follow behavior. It was not follow behavior. I've got the code right here. Yeah. I was doing it until we got 1 meter away. So, double dist squared equals b.getAgent .getLocation.distance squared. And because we're right here, we have access to the mob. Okay, so that's the distance squared. Then we want to return distance squared greater than 1. So as long as the distance squared is greater than 1, we will keep trying to do the thing. Oops. Okay. Okay, so this was for when something enters its view, it's going to try to run up to it. Yeah, okay. So let's see if it compiles. Yep. So we've standardized another behavior if this works, which is good. I don't like all those custom ones. Feel a bunch of thumps. I think older adult child is walking around on her crutches. If you hear one loud thump, then you go check it out. But if you hear lots of thumps, oh, maybe coming up the stairs. That's something I will check out in a little bit. Alright, what's the time look like here? Okay, we're good. Pause. Okay. Do I still have a doggy? Yep. Hey, doggy. Let me get out of your view. And then I'll get back into your view. Yay! You gonna try to keep... Oh, doggy. You disappeared. Okay, so you should run up to me. And you should keep trying to run up to me. For 20 seconds. Or until you reach me. Yep, now you're idle again. Yay! So that part's working. And he sees me. Now he doesn't see me. Now he sees me again. Okay, so that's all working. And the reason excuse me, I can't talk. The original reason I wanted to do that was because... What was I trying to do? Well, for one thing, I wanted to, I wanted to check and make sure we didn't already follow them recently or something like that. Anyway, that I'll have to do on my own time. My brain is starting to fry here, and I haven't eaten today, so gotta find something that my mouth will tolerate. Anyway, he's working. He's doing his thing. He's a cute doggy. Cute doggo. Talk and you'll change position. Oh, woof! He's ready to talk to me. He's in his excited pose. And eventually he'll go back to idle 1. In a minute. He'll time out. I think they last 20 seconds. And yeah, so now he goes back to his regular... The one that's my doggy's idle animation. Yep. Okay. Alright, I think that's where I'm going to stop it. It's funny that down here it shows 3:14, so we got pi going on. Thanks, Andres. I hope that's how you pronounce your name. Thanks everyone for joining. Going to shut it down. We will run through the exit stuff. Again, you can download the latest version of the engine, which was from January, up in the upper left corner here. That's also where the link is to join the Discord. If you like this video, please consider hitting the like button down there at the bottom. Or, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Click the bell if you want to see the latest updates. I was doing Mythruna Mondays for a while, which I'll do again after we cut this release, because I have a lot of things to talk about. Anyway, let me go ahead and hit the thank you. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Comment on the video if you want to improve the algorithm or have something to say. Or if you're watching this later and weren't able to participate in the chat, commenting is the best way to participate in the chat. I try to respond to all of them if there's a question. And we'll go ahead and thank the patrons one more time as I sign off. Thanks again, guys. I will see you next week, assuming no other medical catastrophes happen.